Alright, Drug Agony Fanfiction by WBSS21, Chapter 1, Part 3. Okay, here we go. Is it on? Who is it? You're going back to Arkham. You obviously need medical attention, he said lowly. The Joker chortled. Oh yes, and that's just the place to get it. Top of the line medical care if your aim is to die. Batman glared at him with suspicion. Another one of his sick jokes, no doubt, he thought. He reached out and the madman made what could only be described as a sorry attempt to swat the vigilante's hand away. Sorry, Bats, Oh, fudge. Honestly, Bats, I'm not really ready to go back. It isn't up to you, Joker, Batman said, again reaching for him. The Joker once more attempted to deflect the Dark Knight. Still going? But the detective simply took hold of the lunatic's wrists and pulled him forward. He took note of how light the Joker seemed, lifting him towards him, and his eyes grew wide in alarm as he put his hands about the maniac's torso and felt through the thin cotton of his singlet. He thought he could feel every bone in the man's body. The Joker had always been thin, but this was extreme. Joker, what? He began, but stopped when looking at the man in his arms, seeing he passed out. Something was really wrong. He lifted him fully from the ground, estimating in his head the Joker's 65 frame to weigh no more than 130. Oh, what does that mean? To weigh no more than 130 IB. What in the hell had happened to him? The last he'd seen of the clown had been only 4 months previous, and he'd been perfectly healthy then, save for the moderate beating he'd received. To lose that much weight that quickly, he literally would have had to have been starving himself. Why in heavens would he do such a thing? Batman wondered, stopping himself. The Joker was certainly insane enough, and when had he ever needed any real reason to do anything? Still, this wasn't adding up. The Joker may not have feared death, but neither was he suicidal. He moved with the madman towards his car a block away, walking. He noticed the odd angle of the Joker's collarbone and thought it looked as though it had been broken and not been allowed to step properly. Something was definitely going on. Something out of the unusual. Something out of the usual. When at last he reached the vehicle, the cockpit roof slid open upon his approach. Sorry, I'm stammering. I get nervous and I stammer. Picking up the signal from his belt, he was thankful for the technology as he placed the Joker into the passenger side seat. The madman stirred slightly, groaning. Oh, his face contorting in a grimace. Batman eyed him for a long moment before finally cuffing him to the 2 bolts on either side of the seat, and then getting him beside him. The roof slid shut, blocking the noise of the rain from outside. There was quiet, and the vigilante glanced over as he heard the ragged, shallow breathing of the man to his right. He couldn't explain it, but he felt a strange hesitation. He knew the right thing was to bring the lunatic back to the asylum where he belonged, but he couldn't help the apprehension rising in his gut. How had the Joker ended up as he currently was? Had he done it to himself? And if so, why had the Arkham staff allowed it? They were supposed to be treating him, and though Batman knew that the institution's patients were often treated more as prisoners, there was no excuse for outright neglect, no matter the resentment felt by those working there. Alright. The detective